Guys, today we are going to do the fuel lines and primer bulb on an Echo pb-755st backpack blower. All the parts will be in the description below that you need for this project. If this helps you out in any way, shape, or form, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Alright, so I guess first thing we're going to do here is pull off the air filter cover. There's a knob on top, turn it to the left, knob on the bottom, turn it to the left, counterclockwise, take them off. Two Allens here and here. I think they're a 4mm, might be a 5, but I think it's a 4mm. Alright, so both of them come off. Take the bolts out, the air filter assembly, everything right off. Oh, if it wants to come off. Hold on, let me this is just pop off. It's just stuck on like that, no problem. Make sure this gasket's here. When you put it back together, it's got to be between this and the engine. This little hole right here is actually a vacuum line that runs the fuel pump. So without that gasket, you're going to have a vacuum leak and this will never run right. Go ahead and disconnect the fuel lines. Get them right on off. Flathead screwdriver. You're going to shove it under the grommet and then use the gas cap as a leverage point, and you're going to pry it up. You may need two hands because it'll move the blower around. Just go ahead and take it right on off. Alright. So these front lines look fine, but it was having a fuel issue. So I think it's just like the filter's clogged or something. I could prime it up and it would run fine, but then it would start to lose prime. So something isn't working properly. And the lines are kind of soft. It could be just sucking it down as it's going. I don't know. We're going to do that first and see if that's the problem. Now, if we were to change the carburetor, there's only a few more steps. Like, first of all, I got the throttle all the way up. Let's get that off. Alright, it's really just one more step to do it. And I'll put it in the description, but you squeeze this to the full throttle part, and then you can pop that line, that cable right out. 10mm, loosen this, it slides right off. Now the new carb that comes in will have a different plate than this. They basically make the same carburetor for a bunch of different applications. So you're going to take these two screws here and here, the top two screws, Phillips heads out, remove this plate. The new carburetor, remove that plate, put this plate on the new carburetor with the new screws that are from the new carburetor, put those back in to hold it all down. And then you would put this back on, tighten it down with the 10s, and reattach the cable. And that, you know, that's the steps that we're not doing today. Trying to get this guy out of here as quick as possible. Hopefully it's just a simple repair. And then he doesn't have to wait for the time for the carb to come in. Alright, so we're going to pull all the fuel lines out. I'm going to leave the vent line alone because it's fine, but you would just pull this off here and here and then put the new line in. Not a big deal. I'm going to leave that one alone and just do the fuel lines. Going to remove them. See that there's a little nipple deal in there. Take the lines off each end of that. I'm going to line right up with the old line, cut it to length. Shove it on the big side of the nipple. New filter on the other side of the nipple. And I mean, the still filter. I just grabbed the neck one. Line up the line with this one. Measure it the same length. If it's a little long, it's no big deal. Like if you don't know exactly how long this is, go along with it. And you can just cut it to size as you get there. No big deal. Just get the same length. Cut it. Stab it onto that nipple. All the way down in. And we're going to shove it through the grommet. Just pick whatever hole feels like it's the bigger of the two holes, because you're going to pull it all the way up until this nipple is inside. Like that. And we're going to cut another one. Actually, we don't even have to cut the next one length. We're just going to shove this next one through and leave it nice and long. Just through about an inch, and I just left it nice and long. That way we know that that's the return line. We're going to stick this, before we do that, drain all the gas out of this and clean the tank. We're going to drop the filter down into the tank. We're going to press one side in at a time, just work it in slowly. You can even use a flathead screwdriver and just work it in from one side to the other a little at a time until the whole thing just pops right in. Oop. Alright, I need both hands to do that. All that set up, we're going to do 4 screws. We're going to take all 4 of them out for the primer ball. This is fine, but I'm going to do it anyways just so you can see. 4 screws, pop them out. And we're just going to pull the primer ball and that metal piece off. Then we're going to go ahead and do an inspection. So we're going to pull this black piece off. Feel this diaphragm. Make sure it's nice and soft. You just got to give in and out easy. And then we're going to take this whole metal piece off. At the bottom of it, there's a screen right here. Make sure there's no dirt in there. If there is, just use some carb cleaner and spray it out. Same with the fuel pump. Make sure the fuel pump's not wrinkled up or torn or anything like that. And make sure everything's clean. Then we're going to go ahead and put the metal piece back onto that. Or wait a minute, you know what? First, let's just go ahead, pop the primer ball out. Boom. And put the new primer ball in. Boom. Done. That part's done. Then we're going to put this piece back onto this carburetor. Pins right there are also under there. That lines everything up. Piece next. We're going to put this primer ball metal piece on. You see those 2 little pointy arrow things? Those will go over those 2 holes right there. Like that. And then 4 screws, screw it down. We're going to get them all 4 snug, just barely touching snug. We're going to go in a crisscross pattern. We're going to tighten this one, and then this one, and then this one, and then this one. And just gradually go tighter and tighter until it's all the way tight in a crossway pattern. So the bottom nipple, the one closest to the primer ball, is your suction. That is going to go to the short line that goes to the fuel filter. Set it up in place and guesstimate how much line that it takes to get this one to hook up to the other nipple, and then we're going to cut it to size. Like that, looks good. Then we're going to go ahead and get this set up. We're going to stab it into the carburetor, making sure that the choke arm is towards the recoil. Gasket is falling off, or you're using a new gasket. Make sure you put it on now and make sure that that hole is lining up with, you know, another hole right there. Put it all in place, bolt it down. We're going to go ahead, prime up the fuel. Oh, wait a minute. Let's put gas in it first. That helps. We didn't see that. All right, and then you're going to prime up the fuel. There we go. It's priming up perfectly. If you are seeing foam come out of the filter, it means you've got these 2 lines backwards. But it's primed up nicely. Put the gas cap back on. Perfect. All right, then air filter into the cover and then onto here with these holes down and tighten those 2 knobs up. And that's pretty much it. So I pretty much showed you even how to do the carburetor. So I'll put that, the carburetor, there's a whole kit that comes with this. With grommets, carburetor filters, everything. Super cheap on Amazon. You use them all the time. They work great. I'll put those in the description below. Just click on the link. If this helped you out in any way, shape, or form, give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Show me a little support. If you want to do any advertising on my channel, message me. More than happy to have you. Peace.